Page 77. This is a new mimer. Interesting that when we finished last week, the mimer last week was Wednesday night, and then Thursday night we got rid of Iran. So tonight
is the night, you know.
Chav Gimel Sivan.
Tonight is the night.
Is the night. So we gotta learn this the way it should be. And a special refuah shlema for Eliyahu ben Salika should have us a speedy recovery mamash. Kail Dodi, the voice of my uncle, my beloved, Hine Zeba, is coming. Medalig al Harim, jumping on the skipping over the mountains. Medalig is like skipping. Mekapetz al Gvaot, jumping over the hills. Doime, he's like a tzvi. Tzvi is a deer.
Tzvi Shinag, my father.
Because a hare, jumps over the thing. So now he said, Tzarech lahavin shini haloshen. We have to understand Shebaharim, when he speaks about mountains, ksiv medalig. By mountains, it says he skips over the mountains. Over gvois, and when he speaks about hills, it says mekapetz. So why by mountains you do medalig? It's like you skip the mountain. And why by gvoot, which is hills, it says mekapetz, he's jumping. Who wrote this pasuk? Shlomo HaMelech. What is a description of? Hine pasuk zeh nemar al yitziat Mitzrayim. This pasuk of Kol Dodi, Hine Zeba, is talking about that the Geula of Mitzrayim was Kol Dodi. He Zeba, but guess what happened? Shohisa Geula b'dilub. Hashem skipped over the Geula. You know why he skipped over? Because how many years were they supposed to be in Mitzrayim? Arba Meot Shana. But Hashem skipped it to Redu Shana. 210. So Medaleg means he skipped. Almost. That he skipped. In other words, it's supposed to be 400 years. Boom, I'm out. So all of a sudden, Hine Zeba. How did he appear? I thought we were going to be here another 190 years. Boom, he's here. So he called Dodi. Hine Zeba, he's coming. Medalig ala Adam, he skipped. Kamasha Kasa b'Shir Hashirim. Olahavin kol zeh. Why did Hashem do that? Why did he skip 190 years? Why did he skip?
Because we were good.
I think because he knew that in a few thousand years from now, Roy and Rafi and Moshe will be here. So he wants to skip a few years.
He doesn't skip it now.
Oh, we're going to get to it exactly. So having Kol Zeh to understand why did Hashem skip 190 years? Hine Omer Ba'agada. We learned this. If you remember, we learned a Maimah before Pesach called Matzah Zu. I don't know if you remember, but what was the question? It says in the Haggadah like this: Matzah zu shana eichlim al shumah. Why did we eat the matzah on the night of Pesach? And the Haggadah says like this: Al shum. You know why we eat the matzah? Shalei hispik petzekat shalavisin lahachmitz ad shenigla leim al hakadosh baruch hu. That means I'm sitting tonight at the seder, and you know why I'm eating this matzah? Because the next morning the Jews left Egypt and they had no time to make the dough. So he says, what are you talking about? That doesn't make sense. This that Hashem revealed himself and they left Egypt was after midnight. Shenema vayihi v'chatzi ha-laila. But v'achilas matzah. Why? When are we eating the matzah on the night of Pesach? What time do we eat it? Kodem chatzot. And not only kodem chatzot, you have to eat it before chatzot halayla. Daika means it gotta be before chatzos. Come on, Shana, like it says in the we say in In Rabbi Yishmael, after Rabbi Yishmael, we say, HaPesach ein nechal ela ad chatzot. Before Rabbi Yishmael.
Right.
So you see specifically that it has to be before chatzot.
Right.
Uva Pesach nemar, and then Pesach it says al matzot umerorim, that the matzah and the moror and the Pesach has to be eaten before chatzot.
Right.
So if so, this matzah you're telling me I'm eating because the next morning, which was after chatzot, they left and they didn't have any time for the dough to rise. What are you talking about? We're eating the matzah before midnight, and the Jews also ate the Mitzrayim matzah before midnight. That's why we're eating the matzah, not the matzah that happened the next morning. That's what the question is. We had a whole mimer before Pesach. You remember, Roy? On this, you remember? So I'll tell you an interesting thing. He says, "Olahaven kol zeh." Hine Amar Azal. We say this on page, I think, 16 or 17 in the Sidurim. Every morning it says, "Ata." So maybe 17. Atahu achaloi nivra elam, atahu misha nivra elam. Now it's funny, he's going to say, it used to be the Nusach. I think in some Ashkenazic they still have it. They say, Atahu at shelo barata ha'olam, va'atahu acha shebarata ha'olam. So this is the difference. I say, Atahu at shelo nivra, atahu misha nivra. Got it? You're the same before and after. What's the difference if I say Atahu achalo barata ha'olam or Atahu achalo nivra ha'olam? What's the difference of barata or nivra?
Because nivra,
in the language of the Hebrew, how do you?
Nivra, it could be somebody else that made it.
Nivra by itself. We don't know.
So
By itself, it was created by itself.
you see the problem. This is the answer. You says perfect. When Hashem created the world, Bereshit bara Elokim, do you think Hashem had to put any energy in making this? Did he have to put himself into this? Or it means for him it's so distant. He's still who he is. It's as if it was made on its own. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. When I have to do something, I have to put myself into it. I have to focus. I have to connect. I have to draw, I have to, by Hashem to make the world, did Hashem have to put his essence in this?
But he
made it, but it wasn't made by him putting himself in it. It was so distant from him, it's like it happened. You get what I'm saying? When he's making, stuffing the air conditioners there, yeah? He has to put an effort. He has to put the thing in the wall. There's nothing that Hashem did for his essence to change. There's like, for him, the creation of the world as if it wasn't there even. To the essence of Hashem. Do you get what I'm trying to make out a little?
I think that everything that maybe Hashem does, a certain amount of, has to be something.
No,
it can't be nothing.
The only thing is commitment.
Why do we say
it's a commitment, Rabbi.
Oh, so he's going to explain this. Let's take the sun. Okay, for example, the sun. There's the sun, and then there's the light that shines. Does the sun do anything to make the light shine?
Sun itself?
Yeah.
No, God makes it.
No. Of course, God made the sun also.
Right.
But the sun doesn't do any pu'ula.
No.
Any action for him to say, okay, let me make myself shine.
Yeah, but radiates.
But Rabbi Shain, you said about the human being, right? He made us. He made the world. אנחנו קוראים את זה כל בוקר. שהשם בורא את העולם בכל רגע.
Every minute.
Yeah. So is there any action there or nothing?
100%. But the creation of every moment of the world is similar when you say the sun is shining. The sun doesn't do anything.
It means like effortless.
For Hashem, it's as if, of course Hashem is making everything, of course, that's every second. But there's nothing from Hashem that he had to do for it.
And mamatz.
It's almost like it happened.
Efes mamatz.
Just like the sun, the light shines on the sun. Does the sun do anything for the light to shine? No, it's just because there's a sun, naturally there's a shine that comes out of the sun.
Burn up. It's an energy that's created.
But there's nothing
while
he's
it's
doing.
burning.
But he's not doing
No, I'm not
anything.
talking about God.
I'm saying the sun. The sun is also not
The sun
doing.
is burning.
But he's not doing anything. There's nothing the sun has to do to give light. Since there's a sun, automatically there's light. I'll give you a different example. If you want to teach someone a subject, you are going to put a lot of effort. Why? First, you have to think about the subject. Then you have to condense it to the person's level. Put it into his level. And then you have to actually say it. So there's like 3 steps you're going through till this person is going to understand and learn. But the sun shining, whether the world is here or not, the sun is still shining. It's not like, the sun is coming through this window. It puts extra effort to go through the window. The shine is automatically. There's no pu'ula of the sun that has to make it shine.
But since you're saying that Adam is Adam Elyon, right? Adam, so we are like in his image. Isn't it like we have effort to do this?
Right.
His effort is the same, but million times less, or
He's going to explain that it's totally
nothing.
That's why we say these words: Atahu, Acheloi Nivra, Atahu Misha Nivra. Meaning, Atahu means you are the same exact before and after. Even though there's a creation, nothing has changed in you. There's a whole creation. So we'll get to a minute. The Hine, look what he says. Omer Razal, Atahu Acheloi Nivra Elam. The Hine Chayus Kol Oilamis. Chayus means the energy of all the worlds. Einoi, look into this. Ela Pchines Or V'ziv Bilvad B'menu Yizbarech. You know that all the energy there is in this world, the infinite energy, and is all a little ziv. A ziv is like a shine coming out of the sun. From Hashem, a little shine that emanates, and that gives the energy for this infinite world. A little glimmer.
It's hard for us as human beings that we are we are limited to understand that something like this can be done without effort.
Look what he says next. Kimoy derech mashal. Look at the mashal. Mashal means like an example. Ziv hashemesh or ziv haner. He makes it easier for you. Put a candle. You light a candle. The candle gives light. Is there any effort that the fire of the candle is doing to give light? No. It's just, there's a fire, automatically it expels the darkness. There's nothing that the light is doing. Even a bulb. The bulb doesn't do anything to, yes, it's energy.
It's a point here, because you're saying there's no, that when you light a candle, the candle now, there is the energy, what do you call that effort that happens by itself? It's consumed itself.
No, I agree.
You're talking about.
I'm talking about.
It. So there's the energy.
Yeah, but forget. Let's get to the next step. Let's get to the next step. You lit the candle, so that was an effort. Now the fire is consuming the candle. Good, but I'm asking you a third question. The light that comes out from the fire.
I have nothing to do.
What did the fire do for that?
Okay.
It's passive.
It just happened. I agree you need a candle. I agree you need to light it. I'm speaking about the next step. The ziv. The shine that comes out of this light. What did the fire do for it? Nothing. This is what he says. She'ena negea ela etzem klal v'haraya. Sha'af im yesh masach mafsik. Even if you put a curtain right here, I put a curtain here, so the light is not going to get here. Right now the light is shining here. This light is shining right here. Look, on the table. I put a curtain in my hand, and I'm blocking the light. Does anything change in that?
No.
No. So even if I block that this light shouldn't get here, nothing has changed in the light, and when I take it away, nothing is changing.
But it also,
K'may kain lamayla. Look what he says. Koyach eliki, hamachaya kol ha'olamos. The energy of Hashem that makes all the world works. You know what it's called in Torah? Or.
light.
Or, like light. Or. She'ena negea la'atzmus yizbarach klal. It has nothing to do with God Himself. Atzmus means the essence of Hashem. Ve'eni poyel bo shum shinui. It doesn't make any change in Hashem. K'mo shekosav ani Hashem lo yishaniti. Va'atahu koydem shenikra v'nikra gam ken Hashem. It's called Yahalalu Hashem Hashem. What's Shem? Shem is a name that has nothing to do with you. When you're alone. Do you need your name?
No.
No, ain't it tzarich l'shem klal. You don't need a name. Rak, the only time you need a name, lizulasai. Sheyikru eiseh b'shmai. So a guy who wants to call you, you can't say, hey, you. So he says Rafi, he says David, he says, but you yourself doesn't need a name.
Right.
If you're on your own. The only reason you need a name so someone else could relate to you.
Right.
The whole energy of Hashem that makes all the worlds exist, it's only like a name of Hashem. Has nothing to do with the essence of Hashem. So you get the point a little here. So therefore, I agree with you, there's a major energy here. That every second the energy of Hashem is here, I agree. But this energy is the outcome of a light that comes from the essence of Hashem, that therefore there's this big energy. But it has nothing to do with the essence of Hashem. There's nothing he had to do for it. That's why it says Nivra. Nivra means it's like an automatic creation. There's nothing he got to do to make it. His light just comes out of him, the ore, and from this ore comes the energy of the whole world. But this ore is so distant from his essence that it's like called his name. So when do we use Hashem's name, the 7 names of Hashem? When he's already in the level of ore. But when you speak about the essence of Hashem, you don't use a name, you just say Anochi. There's no name to express the essence of Hashem. The only time you use the name is when Hashem comes down to the level of light, which is already exterior, and it's already disconnect. Now you could say Yud Kei Vav Kei, you could say Elokim, different levels of the light, but not essence of Hashem. There's no levels.
Rabbi.
The essence of Hashem is the same everywhere.
Rabbi.
Yeah?
But there is one instance where we do differentiate between the two, and that is the sun and the moon. The moon is a reflection of the light issued by the sun.
Okay.
And yet the moon, in and of itself, seems to radiate. Now God created it for that purpose. You have two distinct...
yeah, but I was thinking about the sun itself. When the sun gives the light
but
to
it's burning all the while it's giving off light.
But when the sun gives the light to the moon, does the sun make a difference to the sun?
As far as the sun is concerned...
Nothing. Venika, you know what we call this light? Melech. Why? Hashem is a king. When do you say Hashem is a king? The only time you could say Hashem is a king when he's already connected to the world.
Right.
Because when he's in his essence, there's no king.
No, you need people to be.
Oh, Kamoi Lamashal Aderech Hamelech Al Medinasai. She'en Atzmusim Osim Kula Rak Shmoi Levat Shenikr Melech Aleim. The king himself is not all over the country. The name of the king is all over the country. That means his power, but not him. He's himself. So the same thing he says, Lamaila, Mashalakus Machayal Ilmas, you know, the godliness that gives energy to this world is Rak Chinas Malchus. Kishabameh Melech Aleim Machayim Hava. Dainu Shmai is Baruch Vad. The name of Hashem, which is distance from the essence of Amahusi Vatzmusai. The essence of Hashem, Eini Begedam Shachav is Galus, is not even in the category of flowing and revealing. Kihu Levadai. You get it? So, to sum it up, which energy of Hashem makes this world exist? The Or, which is not the essence of Hashem.
His name.
And that's when we refer to Hashem as name, and that's when he's called Melech. And that's why in Nuscha HaYeshana, I think Ashkenazics still have this, but I'm not sure. In the old Nusach, it used to say Ata hu achale barata. But that's a wrong one, because barata means you put an effort. But we don't want to say Hashem put an effort. So you have to say Ata hu anuscha achale nivra. And what does nivra mean? There's no effort. It's just automatic.
The Torah said Bereshit.
Okay, Elokim.
Oh, okay.
Already the name of Hashem, that's the Or.
Yeah.
You know, it's like someone asked, the Torah should have started Elokim, bara Bereshit. Hashem created in the beginning. Why Bereshit bara Elokim? Because the truth is, Hashem had to create Elokim in order to make a world. It means he had to make the light come out, and this light is now Elokim and condensed, and now we can have a world. Or else, if we wouldn't have that, we would have no world. So Bereshis, you want to know what the beginning is? Bara Elokim. He had to create Elokim, and now we could have Shemayim, we could have Oretz, and we could have everything. But you have to have Elokim first.
That God is something.
You remember that? Huh?
Yeah.
That's the whole idea. And you know what's after Elokim? Bereshis bara Elokim Es. Aleph through Taf. Et is Aleph and Taf.
Right.
Because for Elokim to make the world, Elokim created 22 letters. Each letter is another energy. And then the combination of the letters makes the world.
Right.
So first, Bereshis bara. First Hashem had to create what? Elokim. And then Elokim can make S, the 22 letters of the alphabet, Aleph to Tov. And then you have Shemayim and you have Oretz.
And you created two of them, Bet Reshit.
Exactly, Shemayim, which is a spiritual, and Oretz. It makes sense?
Yeah.
So now he says, V'atu hu anuscha at shel niva ika kunuscha zu kikeinu lashon yalshem ketziva v'niv ra'u. V'niv ra'u means automatically. And he says on page 78, V'ahefesh ben barasa lenivra. This is just explaining the Hebrew terminology. When you say barata or nivra, barata mashma sha'atzmus nimshech gam chenezu. If you say barata means Hashem had to put his effort in it. K'mayal derech mashal ha'adam k'shechoyshev u'ma'ayin be'ez davar. When you're thinking and you're really thinking about something, so if I'm going to use the word barata on Hashem, I have a problem. So what did you have to say? By Hashem, you can't say he had to put himself into this, into the essence. The energy that makes this world is only a ziv and a shine of Hashem. It's as if it was automatically made. The right nusach is ad shalei nivra. Make sense?
Yeah, God is something very hard to understand. Very, very hard to understand. To me, anyway.
But it's interesting. In Tanya, he says the fact that the nivra, us, we feel that we're independent. Do we feel that we have an energy that's always making us exist? No, we feel that we are on our own. That feeling that we feel that we don't need anything to make us exist, that comes from the essence of Hashem. Why? Because the essence of Hashem also doesn't need anything. So the feeling that the Nivra feels, that I am independent entity, and I could just be, that feeling comes similar from Atzmut. Umohuto Yizbarech, that over there also God doesn't need anyone. So through Hashem creating us, we get a little of that feeling.
Yeah, but lehavdil, because the reason we feel like that is because we have knowledge.
Exactly.
Once you start to get the knowledge, then you understand.
It's the lack. Yeah, but the fact that we could feel like that. Let's say an angel, for example, can't even feel like that. An angel always feels connected. We have the ability to feel independent. Who gave us that ability to feel independent? Atzmutai umahusoi which is also independent. Of course, by us it's more because we're so physical and we're so materialistic and we don't realize it's all Hashem. We have to work on ourselves to realize that. But otherwise, you think you're yourself, you know. You need. Look what he says. You can't say the sun is making the shine come out. That's shtuyot, you know. It's automatic. There's a sun, automatically a shine comes out. The same thing with a God. When God decided to make to make a world, you know what happened? He created from his light. This little shine that shines from the essence of Hashem, that's what the source of the whole world. They have no connection to Hashem himself. That's clear, right? Now he's going to end off this ois, and this is how we're going to conclude. We say in Asher, Malchuscha, Malchut Kol Elamim. So you see how many times it says Malchut in that sentence? Twice. Malchutcha, and then Malchut Kol Elamim. So there's two Malchut. One is your Malchut, and then there's the Malchut of the world. It's two different Malchut. Ki yesh beit pchinot, there's two pchinot. Hainu pchinas Malchutcha, there's your kingdom, and then Malchut Kol Elamim. Which one do you think is higher? Malchutcha. Pirush Malchut Kol Elamim. What's Malchut Kol Elamim? Hainu Mashem Chaya Kol Elamim. That's the energy that makes all the world exist. Which worlds? Beriya, Yetzira, and Asiya.
Why is it Olamim and not Olamot?
He said, you want to know why sometimes Lashon Zachar, sometimes Lashon Nekeva? Usually Olamot is Nekeva. But sometimes in the Torah, this is a quote. Malchuscha Malchus Kol Olamim is a quote from the Tehillim. So you're asking on the Tehillim why he doesn't say Malchuscha Malchus Kol Olamot. Okay, that's a good question. No, David HaMelech. This is Tehillim. Good question. That's a note we have to ask David HaMelech when Mashiach is coming any moment. Just ask David HaMelech why he says Olamim and not Olamot.
Maybe it doesn't mean the words.
Okay, so wait. So he says Malchut Kol Olamim Masha Machaya Kol Olamim, which is Briya Yetzir Asira Chsiv Kol Anika B'Shmi L'Choedi Berasiv Yitzartiv Afasisiv. We say it in the Pirkei Avos also, which is Yeshayahu. What does it mean? Berasiv Hainu Pchinas Briya. You know, everyone knows the four worlds, right? Atzilut, Briya, Yitzira, Asiya. Atzilut, let's not talk about, because Atzilut is still part of godliness.
Right.
It's the or. It's not God himself. It's the. But Briya is where the creation starts. So he's just going to explain to us each Briya, Yitzira, Asira. What is the difference? He says Briya, Hainu B'chinas HaNeshamot. That's where the souls are. Shehema B'chinas Briya. Why? Whenever you use the word Briya, it means Yesh Mi Ayin, Mamash. So the world of Briya is where everything starts. When you go above Briya, you don't see the world. You see just godliness. The or. You just see light. Where do we start to see that there's a Briya, there's a creation in the world of Briya, which is the first of the three worlds, and that's where your neshama is. Why? Before you think, you had no words. Then when you think, you have letters in your mind. So he's saying the world of Briya is like the world of your thought. Why? Before you're thinking, there's no words. And then when you start to think, now there's words. But it's words in the world of machshava, which we call potential. So Briya is like machshava, because you have machshava, dibur, maisa. So Briya is like machshava. Over there, everything is like in the world of potential. It's like in the mind. It's not yet formed. It's just there, it could happen.
אבל יש גם נשמות של אצילות, כמו משה רבנו.
Yeah, and that's where our neshama, because it says our neshama comes from the machshava of Hashem. Where's the machshava? Bria. Bria is where the machshava starts. Then what's the next world? Yitzartiv,
יצירה.
the lower world. Olam hamalachim. That's where the angels live. Why? Shehim b'chinas yitzira. They already have a form. An angel has a form. B'chinas dibur. That's when you say God dibur. B'dvar Hashem shamayim nasu. That's in the world of yitzira. Where does speech come from? Your thought, because what you're thinking, then you speak. You talk what you're thinking. I mean, a person that's normal, a person that's not normal talks without thinking, but that's not the way you talk. The way your normal speech is, it's an outcome of your thinking. First you think about it, and after you think, then you express it in words. So where's the words? The world of Yitzirah. And that's why it's not Yesh Ma'ayin, it's only Yesh M'Yesh. Why? It's whatever you're thinking, that's what you're talking. So in Yitzirah, you're not creating anything new. You're just taking the potential of Bria and you're bringing it out in speech. So you're bringing it out more in a form, you're bringing it out already more in a kind of a design. It's like Chomer and Tzura. Anyone familiar with Chomer and Tzura or no? You familiar No, in Chakira, not Kabbalah, Chakira, Sefer Chakira. In Torah, there's a lot they discuss. This is not Kabbalah, this is more science of Torah. They speak about Chomer and Tzura. You familiar with that concept? So for example, this bottle, the Chomer is the glass.
Right.
The Tzura is the shape.
Right.
Now, we can't have anything without each other. You can't have glass without a shape. You can't have shape of a glass without the glass. So the Chomer and Tzura is really connected. But in our mind, we know there's two things here. There's the glass, and then there's the Tzura of the glass. So the same thing in everything. In us, when I say a word, the word has the word itself, and then what's in the word, the meaning of the word, that's the Tzura. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the Chomer is like, Chomer is the thing, is like the Chumriyut, is the thing itself. Tzura is already the shape, is the shape of it. That's in the world of Yitzirah. And therefore, it's called Huyuli, and it's a good example also is with a match. Interesting, a match.
Match talking about?
Not a match like a shidduch. I mean match, a gafror.
Yeah.
So what happens? The gafror has in it bihiyuli. Hiyuli means potential.
Potential, right?
That it could come out fire.
Right.
But when I touch the match, I don't feel hot. I don't even see that there's a way that fire is going to come out of it. Then what I do, I strike it, now fire comes out. So is it yesh me'ayin? No.
Yesh M'Yesh.
It's yesh me'yesh. It's just that it was so hidden in the match, in the gafrur, that you thought it's not there. But when I give it one strike, you see it's there. That's Yitzirah.
Potential.
Yitzirah is bringing out the fire that was potentially in the match of Bria. Bria is like the match, the gafrur without anything.
Before.
And then Yitzirah, it comes out. You get the idea?
Yeah.
Now, another example I always give is like $100 bill. No, $100 bill has how many quarters in it? 400 quarters. How many dimes?
Right.
1,000. How many pennies? 10,000. But in the $100 bills, you don't see 10,000 pennies. You don't see 400 quarters.
You don't see food.
You don't see, but from it comes out that you could get,
You don't see sushi.
That's the idea. There's Hiyuli and there's the Koach Hagilui. So that's the second world. Now let's go to the third world, Asisiv. That's Olam Hasiya, Kochavim Mazalot, all the stars and all the planets, that's Olam Hasiya. This world is called Olam Hazeh. That's even lower. But like the planets, the stars,
That's
that's called Olam Hasiya. Because it's also, if you ever look in the Rambam when he speaks about all the planets, there's how many? 8, 9, according to the Rambam? Whatever it is, there's like 9 levels. He says all these planets are not something that you could touch. It's like so clear, like it's like transparent. So it's not like Mars and mufshat. So it's like it's almost like it's like a spiritual level in a physical world.
Something you can't touch.
And how big is the planets? It goes and goes and goes. It's like there's no, So he calls it Olam Hasiya. V'chol ha'ilmes. All these 3 worlds, einim makam chayusim rak mechenes Shem belvad. They get the energy only from the name of Hashem, which is like the light of the light, which is that's Malchus Kol Elamim. That's the second level. Aval Malchutcha. That's how Kamoish B'chines Malchus Ubato Batzmusay. Malchutcha means, yes, there's the energy that gives the whole world all the energy. That's the Malchut Kol Elamim. Then where does this energy come from? This energy comes from the essence of Hashem. But when it's giving the life to the world, it's separate from the essence of Hashem. But then there is how this light goes back to its Makor. It's like the ziv of the shemesh.
Different levels with filters.
Yeah, imagine if the shine of the sun goes back into the sun. Just imagine that. Would you see the shine or you would see the sun? In the sun itself, do you see a shine or you just see the sun? In the sun itself.
See the sun.
Why? Because the shine is so batel. It's like you take a big fire and you put a little candle. Or the best example is if you go on a sunny, bright day. Mamish, the sun is shining strong, and you light a candle. You don't even know if the fire is on. You ever saw it? You think the fire is on, you're touching, is it on? Is it on? I remember once we were koshering pots and pans. Like the frying pans. Yeah. So when you kosher it, you need to do it with fire. So you put the pans outside, on the street, and you take the torch, and I'm putting it on. Is it on? It was so bright. Is it on? Is it on? And then you hear the pan plotzing. It was on. You know what I mean? But you don't see the fire because it's so batel. Because the sun is so strong that the light of the fire has nothing. It's like nothing. So imagine the shine of Hashem compared to the essence of Hashem. It's like nothing. So all this energy that comes out is like so batel or mavutal. We're going in the Niglalei Malachem Malachem HaKadosh Baruch Hu, page 79. Hainu b'chinas Malchus Kolam, u'b'chinas Melech Malachem Malachem, k'may shenich u'b'chinas Atzmusei, Niglalei Maz, b'mishal sh'b'chinas Atzmusei. So he's saying that when Hashem took us out of Egypt, which level of Malchus did Hashem use? Is it the Malchut Kol Olamim or Malchutcha? So he says, no, when Hashem took us out of Egypt, he had to use Malchutcha. How Malchus is still part of him. Why? Ki oz hayu yitziat Mitzrayim. What is Yitziat Mitzrayim? Taking you out of your limitations, taking you out of your of your temptations. So Kamoy Olam Hazagashi Hu Gvul Mahalch Tov Kuvkshana, Va'af Olam Hamalachim B'chinas Gavul, U'tzvach B'chinas Yesh, V'gam Olam Shamas Hem B'chinas Gavul. Even the soul's Bria is also Gavul. And Ksheniga Aleim Melech Malcham Lachem, when Hashem revealed himself, then he was above the entire world. It was like Hashem's essence was revealed. In other words, normally the way Hashem works is Malchus Kol Elam. There's a shine that comes out of Hashem, and then it gets condensed and condensed and condensed till it creates Bria. More condensed, it creates Yitzira and Asiya, and that's the energy of the whole world, and that's how everything lives. But then when Hashem reveals how this Malchus emanates from him himself, Malchutcha, where it comes from, in the sun itself, then it's a much stronger revelation of Hashem. So when Hashem took us out of Mitzrayim, it says, Nigla Aleim Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hashem revealed the Malchus, how it's coming out from Him, not how it reaches this world. It's how Malchus is still within Himself.
Sounds like there's effort there.
No, there was no effort. And that's a relation to Hashem. So this, you understand how we got here or no?
Yeah.
We got here, we asked the question. How come it says Hashem skips the mountains and jumps on the hills? So we said that's what we used when we left Mitzrayim. We heard Kol Dodi and we Hashem down. So we had to understand, why does Hashem have to dance? Why does he have to shout? So then we got into this whole thing of the idea of Hashem creating the world, that He doesn't put any effort because it's not the essence of Hashem, it's only a shine, it's not Him. And then we went through the three worlds, Bri, Yitzia, Asiya, and that's where we're holding now. Bezrat Hashem, next week, we'll continue on the
That's it?
That's it. I'm sorry, man. I don't want you to plot so much.
Está with